Live and livid. Okay. Hello again, and welcome to our 5 o'clock presentation of scenes performed from cues only. I'm Lizzie. I'm artistic director of Shake-Scene Shakespeare, and we are the company in the UK which performs from lines and cues only. The scenes that you are about to see performed for you by a very special company have not been pre-rehearsed. Everybody has taken their own lines and their parts. They have prepared in their own time. They have not rehearsed together. I guarantee you nobody has heard anybody else's lines yet. And nobody knows what anybody is bringing to their characterizations yet. They get to find out when you find out, which is the extra fun, joy, and jeopardy of performing from cues in the style of the Renaissance players Shakespeare's own time. So I got to introduce, we have if you were with us at 3 o'clock, you know, we had quite a small company. We have an even smaller company today, but it's very special because for the first time ever, I have an all-male company to work with. So can I have, just to come up and say hello, can we please have Sigffried, Geoffrey, Mark, and Fergus? Just pop yourselves on camera and say hello to all the lovely people out there watching.
Hello, everyone.
There we go. So we are being extremely authentic this afternoon. We have an all-male company. And when I was deciding how to cast these guys, I thought, well, we got to do one all-male scene, obviously. And then I took a decision and I thought, I do an awful lot of casting where, you know, female actors into traditionally male roles, because that's kind of how it works. And you join us for Troilus and Cressida next week, you'll see. And I just thought, let's flip it. So these guys are going to do 3 scenes for you. We've got one traditionally all male, the others as written for female roles, but of course would originally have been performed by men anyway. So this is going to be fun. Okay, so it's lovely to see you guys again. Sigffried, I saw you this afternoon, but it's very nice to have Mark and Fergus, who I know has just moved back to London, and Geoffrey up there in his corner. So it's lovely to have you guys all together. Right, are you ready?
Yes.
You're ready to rock and roll? Right. You guys slip off to the virtual tiring house. I will call you scene by scene. I'll just do a quick bit of housekeeping and then we will get on with it. So, as usual, right. You're watching us on YouTube. You will see that our donation link is up as usual. It will be feeding directly to us as a company. If you are able to, it is not required, but it is very much appreciated if you are able to give us a donation of any size. We save the contributions up into a pot, and it is distributed amongst members of the company still experiencing significant financial hardship. So it all goes to a good home, including a percentage of it that we donate to the charity, the Stephen Lawrence Foundation. So again, if you are able to, our link is there. It's not required. It is very much appreciated. If you're also looking at our gallery of former productions there, you'll notice it looks slightly different because we're sort of starting a new term, and we thought we'd have a look back over the last 6 months and decide what we would do with this great body of work that we've developed. So the way it's going to look from now on is all the scenes performances are up there. So all the Sundays like this, where we've done bits and pieces of different plays. But the whole plays we have taken down, and they are going to come back on rotation for the weekends that we take off. So the weekend of Sunday 27th this month, which is our next weekend off, we're going to bring back and make available to you one of the first full plays we did, which was Taming of the Shrew. So if you want to have a look back to much earlier in lockdown and see some of the stuff that maybe we've got slightly better at, then that will be available to you then. If there is a particular production that you particularly want to see or need to see for any reason, please get in touch with us. You can tweet us on @ShakeScenery. You can email us or leave a message right there on the YouTube page. We pick up everything, we look at everything, and we do love hearing from you. We very much enjoyed the correspondence we've had over this summer. So it's lovely to hear from you. It's lovely to know what you are enjoying and the things that you don't like so much, because everything helps us to develop, and we're all about developing. So it's all good. It all grist to the mill. So I think that's all the chat I need to do. So my job for this afternoon is to be the MC and join up these 3 scenes from these 3 rather different plays that we're doing this afternoon. So first off, we're going to take a scene from Taming of the Shrew to whet your appetite for the return match. And because it's a great scene and because it's good fun. So we are going to go to Padua in Italy. and on a lovely hot sunny afternoon in Italy. And we are going to meet the gallant Petruchio, who is arriving in the city with his loyal servant Grumio, and he's come to visit his friend Hortensio, who lives there. So that is a perfectly simple and well-organized scenario. What could possibly go wrong? Let's find out. Okay, can I just check that we have we got Grumio? Are you ready? Yep, you're there, right. And we've got Hortensio. Give me a quick yes.
Sir.
Brilliant. And we've got Petruchio.
Aye.
There we go. Right, gentlemen. So the game remains the same. Once I leave the stage is yours. Take us to Padua and enjoy yourselves. Okay, everybody. I'll see you on the other side. Have fun.
Verona, for a while I take my leave to see my friends in Padua, but of all my beloved and approved friends, Hortensio, and I throw this in, is his house. Here, Sirrah, Grumio, knock, I say.
Knock, sir? Whom should I knock? Is there any man has abused your worship?
Villain, I say, knock me here, soundly.
Knock me? Yes.
Villain, I say,
Why,
knock
sir? What am I, sir, that I should knock you here, sir?
Villain, I say, knock me at this gate, and rap me well, or I'll knock your knave's pate.
My master grows quarrelsome. I should knock you first, and then I know after who comes by the worst.
Will it not be? Faith, Sirrah, and you shall not knock, I'll ring it. I'll try how you can solve and sing it.
Help, mistress! Help! My master grows mad!
Now knock when I bid you, Sirrah, villain.
How now, what's the matter? My old friend Grumio and my old friend Petruchio. How do you all at Verona?
Signor Hortensio, come you to part the fray. Continue le cor bene trovato, may I say.
Alla nostra casa benevenuto, molto honorata, signor mio Petruchio. Rise, Grumio, rise. We will compound this quarrel.
Was it fit for a servant to use his master so?
Senseless villain, good Hortensio. I bade the rascal knock upon your gate, and could not get her from my heart to do it.
Knock at the gate? Good heavens! Spake you not these words plain, sirrah? Knock me here, rap me here, knock me well, and knock me soundly, and how come you with knocking at the gate?
Sirrah, be gone, or talk not, I advise you.
Petruchio, patience. I am Grumio's pledge. Why this heavy chance twixt her and you, your ancient trusty, pleasant servant Grumio? And tell me now, sweet friend, what happy gale blows you to Padua here from old Verona?
Such winds as scatter young men through the world, to seek their fortune further than at home, where small experience grows but in a few. Signor Hortensio, thus it stands with me. Antonio, my father, is deceased, and I have thrust myself into this maze, happily to wive and thrive as best I may. Crowns in my purse I have, and goods at home, and so I'm come abroad to see the world.
Petruchio, shall I then come roundly to thee, and wish thee to a shrewd ill-favoured wife? Thou thank'st me but a little for my counsel, and yet I'll promise thee she shall be rich, and very rich. But thou too much, my friend, and I'll not wish thee to her.
Signor Hortensio, twixt such friends as we, few words suffice, and therefore, if thou know one rich enough to be Petruchio's wife, as wealth is burden of my wooing dance, be she as foul as was Florus's love, as old as the Sibyl, as cursed and shrewd as Socrates' Xantippe, or a worse, she moves me not, or not removes me at least affection in me, where she is as rough as are the swelling Adriatic seas, I come to wive wealthily in Padua, if wealthily, then happily in Padua?
Well, look you, sir. He tells you flatly what his mind is. Well, give him gold enough and marry him to a puppet or an old trot with ne'er a tooth in her head. Oh, she have as many diseases as 250 horses. Nothing comes amiss, so money comes with all.
Petruchio, since we are stepped thus far in, I will continue that I brushed in jest. I can, Petruchio, help thee to a wife with wealth enough, and young and beauteous, brought up as best becomes a gentlewoman. Her only fault, and that is faults enough, is that she is intolerable cursed and shroud and forward, so beyond all measure that were my state far worser than it is, I would not wed her for a mind of gold.
Hortensio, peace. Thou knowest not gold's effect. Tell me her father's name, and 'tis enough, and I will board her, though she chide as loud as thunder when the clouds in autumn crack.
Her father is Battista Minola, an affable and courteous gentleman. Her name is Caterina Minola, renowned in Padua for her scolding tongue.
I know her father, though I know not her, and he knew my deceased father well. I will not sleep, Hortensio, till I see her. And therefore let me be thus bold with you to give you over at this first encounter, unless you will accompany me thither.
I pray you, sir, let him go while the humour lasts. And my word, and she knew him as well as I do. She would think scolding would do little good upon him. She may perhaps call him half a dozen knaves or so. That's nothing. You know him not, sir.
Tare Petruchio, I must go with thee, for in Battista's keep my treasure is. He hath the jewel of my life in hold, his youngest daughter, beautiful Bianca, and her withholds from me. Others more suitors to her, and rivals in my love, supposing it a thing impossible for those defects I have before rehearsed, that ever Caterina will be wooed. Therefore, this order but have Battista ta'en, that none shall have access unto Bianca till Caterina the Cursed have got a husband.
Catherine the Cursed, a title for a maid. Of all titles, the worst.
Now, shall my friend Petruchio do me grace and offer me disguised in sober robes to old Battista as a schoolmaster, well seen in music to instruct Bianca, that so I may, by this device at least, have leave and leisure to make love to her, and unsuspected court her by herself.
Off they go to enjoy their little plot. Thank you, guys. Most intriguing. Loving the Italian in there, Sigffried. I hope Valentina, who is doing our tech behind the scenes, is content with that particular level of accent. Thank you, Geoffrey. Really enjoyed your Grumio. Looking forward to the next bit. So let us roll forwards. And again, if you want to know what happens next and how that particular plot and plan works out, because what could possibly go wrong? Then our Take Me of the Shrew will be back up and available to watch on Sunday 27th. So, a slight change of pace. We are going to dip back into one of our more recent plays now and go to a bit of Richard III, just to bring everybody down slightly. Again, this is one of those scenes, because what happened, because in order to keep our sort of catalogue of scenes nice and fresh and healthy, every time we do a play, I go in and carve out a bunch of new scenes and they come into this repertoire. And it's lovely because for me, because my job within the company is, amongst other things, I do the casting. And it's always great. I mean, I love the cast so much that we had for Richard III. But then it's so much fun to go, what if I give those lines to that person or this person? Wouldn't it be fun if they got to do this? Or, oh, they'd be so suitable for that. Or even sometimes that is so not their part, but how much fun it would be for them to do it. So sometimes when I'm casting the scenes, that's the way I tend to go. And this is a scene towards the end of the play, and we get to meet, well, not quite three queens, but almost. We have old Queen Margaret meeting the Duchess of York, so the mother of the current King Richard at this point, and her daughter-in-law, former Queen Elizabeth. And I always make a point of carving out as many of the kind of female-centered scenes as I can, because we have a lot of female actors, or, you know, overtly female, whatever. So it's good to have, you know, that both genders fully represented so that we can cast sort of as balancedly as we can. So this is, but the first time we get to do this scene as a scene, it's three men, and it's going to be really, really interesting. So can I just check that we have, I can see the Duchess of York is ready and waiting. So Mark, I can see you're there. Oh, there we are. Duchess of York is up there. And I'm looking for Queen Elizabeth.
She's ready.
Which is Fergus, jolly good. And we have Queen Margaret, which I believe is Geoffrey. Geoffrey, are you with us? Can't see you just at the moment.
A thing saying you can't start your video.
That's okay. I couldn't hear you, but I'm glad. I was just checking. Everybody's there.
The
Cool.
video is not working. The video has somebody has
It's
stopped.
okay, Geoffrey. I'll give you back your video in a second.
Okay, so we'll let Valentina sort that one out. Well, Valentina, if you can control it, because Queen Margaret is the first one on at the top of the scene.
It should be solved right now.
Okay, brilliant. So, as usual, when there we go, Queen Margaret is ready to go. Marvelous. So I will disappear, take us deep into the heart of English history, and let's see how this moment of these three great characters plays out. Okay, have fun, guys.
So now prosperity begins to mellow and drop into the rotten mouth of death. Here in these confines slyly have I lurked, to watch the waning of my enemies. A dire induction am I witness to, and will to France, hoping the consequence will prove as bitter, black, and tragical. Withdraw thee, wretched Margaret. Who comes here?
Ah, my poor prince, my tender babes, my unblown flowers now appearing sweet. Yet your gentle souls fly in the air, and be not so fixed in doom perpetual. Hover about me with your airy wings, and hear your mother's lamentations.
Hover about her, say that right for right hath dimmed your infant morn too aged night.
So many miseries have crazed my voice that my woe-wearied tongue is still and mute. Edward Plantagenet, why art thou dead?
Plantagenet doth quit Plantagenet. Edward for Edward pays a dying debt.
Wilt thou, O God, fly from such gentle lambs and throw them in the entrails of the wolf? When didst thou sleep, when such a deed was done?
When holy Harry died, and my sweet son.
Dead life, blind sight, poor mortal living ghost. Woes seen, world's shame, grave's due, but life's usurped. Brief abstract and record of tedious days. Rest thy unrest on England's lawful earth, unlawfully made drunk with
Revenge and sorrow,
blood.
be most reverend. Give mine the benefit of seniority, and let my griefs frown on the upper hand. If sorrow can admit society, I had an Edward till a Richard killed him. I had a husband till a Richard killed him. Thou hadst an Edward till a Richard killed him. Thou hast a Richard till a Richard killed him.
I had a Richard too, and thou didst kill him. I had a Rutland too, thou hopest to kill him.
Margaret, thou hadst a Clarence too, and Richard killed him. Geoffrey, you're on mute. Thou hadst a Clarence too, and Richard killed him. From forth the kennel of thy womb hath crept a hellhound that doth haunt us all to death. That dog that had his teeth before his eyes to worry lambs and lap their gentle blood. That foul defacer of God's handiwork that reigns in galled eyes of weeping souls. That excellent grand tyrant of the earth, thy womb let loose to chase us to our graves. O upright, just, and true disposing God, how do I thank thee that this carnal cur preys on the issue of his mother's body and makes her pew fellow with others moan.
O Harry's wife, triumph not in my woes. God witness with me, I have wept for thine.
I think we're having technical difficulties still. Right, bear with me. I am hungry for revenge, and now cloy me with beholding it. Thy Edward, he is dead, that killed my Edward, the other Edward dead, to quit my Edward. Young York, he is but boot, because both they match
Fine.
the perfection of my loss. Geoffrey, are you back with us? Thy Clarence, he is dead, that stabbed my Edward, and the beholders of this frantic play, the adulterate Hastings, Rivers, Vaughan, Grey, untimely smothered in their dusky graves. Richard yet lives. Hell's black intelligencer only reserved their factor to buy souls and send them thither. But at hand ensues his piteous and unpitied end. Earth gapes. Hell burns, fiends roar, saints pray to have him suddenly conveyed from hence. Cancel his bond of life, dear God, I pray, that I may live and say, the dog is dead.
Well, thou did prophesy that time would come, that I should wish for thee to help me curse that bottle spider, that foul bunch-backed toad.
I called thee then, vain flourish of my fortune. I called thee then, poor shadow, painted queen, the presentation of but what I was, the flattering index of a direful pageant, one heaved to high to be hurled down below, a mother only mocked with two fair babes, a dream of what thou wast, a garish flag to be the aim of every dangerous shot, a sign of dignity, a breath, a bubble, a queen in jest only to fill the scene. Where is thy husband now? Where be thy brothers? Where be thy two sons? Wherein dost thou joy? Who sues and kneels and says, God save the queen? Where be the pending peers that flattered thee? Where be the thronging troops that followed thee? Decline all this, and see what now thou art. For happy wife, a most distressed widow. For joyful mother, one that wails the name. For one being sued to, one that humbly sues. For queen, a very caitiff, crowned with care. For she that scorned at me, now scorned of me. Margaret, feel free to take over anytime you can. For she being feared of all, now fearing one. For she commanding all, obeyed of none. Thus hath the course of justice whirled about, and left thee but a very prey to time, having no more but thought of what thou wast. To torture thee the more, being what thou art, thou didst usurp my place, and dost thou not usurp the just proportion of my sorrow? Now thou proud neck bears half my burthened yoke, from which even here I slip my wearied head, and leave the burthen of it all on thee. Farewell, York's wife, and queen of sad mischance. These English woes shall make me smile in France.
Thou well skilled in curses, stay a while and teach me how to curse mine enemies.
Forbear to sleep the night and fast the day. Compare dead happiness with living woe. Think that thy babes were sweeter than they were.
And he that slew them fouler than he is. Bettering thy loss makes the bad causer worse. Revolving this will teach thee how to curse.
My words are dull, oh quicken them with thine.
Thy woes will make them sharp and pierce like mine.
Why should calamity be full of words?
Windy attorneys of their clients' woes, every succeeders of intestine joys, poor breathing orators of miseries. Let them have scope, though what they will impart help nothing else, yet they do ease the heart.
If so then, be not tongue-tied, go with me, and in the breath of bitter words, let's smother my damned son that thy two sweet sons smothered. The trumpet sounds. Be copious in exclaims.
And enter Richard, but we're not doing that bit of the scene. Thank you, guys. That was wonderful. Please, that's okay. The internet is a wonderful and live medium. That's just one of what I call the pigeon moments. If you've ever been to an open air production at the Globe or any other theatre, there's always a pigeon on the stage at some point. There's always the moment where things drop out and go wrong. That's kind of what I'm for. So thank you very much. Mark, if you want to hop off and get yourself ready for the next scene, then we will do a quick switch from darkest, most miserable England to, yeah, we're going back to Verona. How can I stay out of Romeo and Juliet? So this is the last one for our 5 o'clock performance this afternoon. And given the way the internet's been playing us up, that may be a good thing. So let us go to the house of the great rich Capulet. And he's about to give a massive party. And well, what could possibly go wrong at a party? However, his daughter Juliet has to receive some quite significant news about situations afoot within the household, things that are being hoped for around her or may actually come to pass in her life, who knows? So we're going to meet Juliet in her own rooms and apartments in the house before the party, and she's getting a visit from her mother, and hopefully being helped out by her nurse. So just before we take on, just to check that everybody's ready and able, do we have a Giulietta?
You do.
Excellent. And we have a nurse.
Yes.
Nursey, are you there? Excellent. And Capulet's wife.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. There may be an actual appearance by me in this one, which is slightly more scheduled, because we need a serving man. And that's what, as was being commented on earlier, the servants in Shakespeare are in fact the most important roles. So yeah. Okay. So guys, as soon as I am gone, the screen is yours. Take us to Capulet's house. I'll see you there.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me.
Ah, now, by my maidenhead. At 12 years old, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where is this girl? Juliet!
How now? Who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I'm here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give me leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou hearest our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Face, I can tell her age unto an hour.
She's not 14.
I lay 14 of my teeth, and yet to my teen, be it spoken, I have but 4. She's not 14. How long is it to Lammerstide?
A fortnight and odd days?
Even on odd, of all days, it is the year comme la Ma's Eve. At night she shall be 14. Suzanne and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Suzanne is with God, and she was too good for me. But as I said, on Lama's Eve at night, shall be she 14, then shall she marry. Yeah, I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now, 11 years, and she went when I never shall forget it. Of all the days of the year upon the day, before I then laid wormwood to my dog sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall, my lord. And you, where then at Mantua, nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when I did taste the wormwood of the nipple of my Dodge, and felt it bitter, pretty full to see it teachy and full out with a Dodge. Shake, quoth the dove-house, 'twas no need, I trod to bid me trudge, and since that time, it is 11 years. 11 years. For then she could stand alone, nay, bethrood, she could have run and waddled about, for even the day before she broke her brow, and then my husband, God be with his soul, was a merry man, took up the child, yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more with wit, wilt thou not jewel? And by my holy dame, the pretty wretch left crying. And then I say, to see now, just shall come about. I warrant, and I shall live 1,000 years. I never should forget it. Wilt thou not jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool, it's stinted, said I.
Enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace.
Say I.
Yeah. Yes, madam. I cannot choose, but laugh. To think it should live crying, and then say I, and yet I warrant it upon it, bro, a bomb as being as young cockroach stones, a perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yeah, quoth my husband, falls upon thy face, thou wilt fall backwards when thou comest to age. Wilt thou not jewel? I stinted, and said I.
And sint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say I.
Peace I have done, God mark thee. To his grace thou wast the prettiest babe. Oh, babe, that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
Marry. That, marry, is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an hour that I dream not of.
An hour, where I might shine only nurse, I would say, thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Well, think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years, that thou art now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, young lady, a lady, such a man, the whole world, why he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower in face, a very flower. Oh.
What say you, can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every several lineament, and see how one another lends content, and what obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margent of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover. The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride, for fair without, the fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him and making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by man. Oh.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
I look to like if liking move, but no more deep than I endart mine eyes, than your consent gives strength to make fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper served up. You called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
We follow thee, Juliet. The county stays.
Oh, girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
And off they go. And what could possibly go wrong with a party undertaken on such a beautiful night and by such wonderful people? Thank you all so very much. So can I have my lovely actors back, please, just to say farewell for this afternoon. Lovely to have you all, boys. Thank you. That was so much fun.
Sorry
I
about
wonder,
the
maybe
internet,
we
but
will
you
be
did
able
a
to
lovely
do that.
job, Lizzie. Yeah.
Well, we have to have a word with your internet, Geoffrey, but that's okay. We'll sort this out for next week. So thank you again for joining us today. Please do drop us a message. We do love to hear from you. We will be back next Sunday, Sunday 13th at 3 o'clock with the whole of Troilus and Cressida. So if you fancy a spot of fun in the Trojan War, all these guys will be there, and so will almost all our company. And it's really going to be quite an adventure. So please do join us if you can. Okay, so, and until then, I say to my lovely actors and to all of you who are watching us, have a very lovely, safe week. Keep yourselves and each other safe. Stay well, stay happy, and stay in touch. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you guys next week. I have to do that.